All right, we're at the TTC. I have a knack for getting very thoroughly searched at every theme park, even if I take my stuff out. Let's see how this goes. Making our way into the Magic Kingdom. We got all the kids out at around 8. Sorry, got the kids all out at around 7:20 something, just before 7:30, which is Herculean task. Goodness, let's do this. Crowds don't seem terrible, but it is early. Line doesn't look terrible today. What is going on? I was gonna do the monorail. What do you want to do? I just said that I usually get searched very thoroughly. Oh, the monorail's closed. We're doing the ferry boat. I usually get searched quite thoroughly when we go through our stuff, and I even try the tactic of holding my electronics forward and walking through, especially at Animal Kingdom. They always get me. That's my favorite theme park, so I don't know what's going on there. But I will say, I just went through without a hitch. That's probably the fastest we've ever been through security with all the kids and all of our things, which admittedly we have a lot. So let's get in here and see what we can get into today. Are you a ferry boat or monorail person? I enjoy the ferry boat, but I am a classic and true monorail guy, and I will admit to you, I like avoiding being off the water with 3 such small kids. You know, just because I'm a dad and I think about scary things. But anyway, we're doing the ferry today. Let's do it. All right, we are in the Magic Kingdom. A great day to ride some rides. Let's do it. There she is. It's been a while. Look at that, look what's running. You know, I've never rode that and I want to. I just know that it moves at a leisurely pace. Of course, we just got her, so we're kind of on the move. In case you're curious, this is where the Starbucks is, right on Main Street. It's not called a Starbucks, it's the Main Street Bakery, but there it is. Kind of empty right now. We're getting close on the hub. I feel like our past few visits to Magic Kingdom, we've been working so hard on being efficient and getting to where we're going, and haven't really slowed down to really experience it. All right, so we managed to get here actually before early entry started. I don't know how we did that with the 3 kids staying so far where we are. We're at Saratoga, and so we're actually gonna stop and get this photo op because, again, we never really stop to take photos because we're always in a hurry and it's a production with the kids. So let's check it out. And I mentioned the early entries because everyone's lining up just outside the lands on the rides for the resort guests who can get in 30 minutes early, and so we might as well wait in line here because we're heading to Storybook Circus and most people aren't racing there, so I'll report back. So the early entry process kind of changes from time to time, and so we haven't done it at the Magic Kingdom in a while, so I just wanted to update y'all. It's kind of the same that only Fantasyland and Tomorrowland are open during this time, but they force you around the hub. You can see the hub behind me, and there are several entrance points, but you can only actually access it from the beginning of the hub. So you can get out once you're already in. I don't know why you would. Maybe you didn't realize it was early entry for resort guests. But if you try to get in through the rope from one of those earlier entrance points closer to the castle, they will turn you away. Didn't happen to us, but I just wanted to point that out. And yes, I'm slightly out of breath, but that's the process now. We timed it to where we got here close enough without having to be all bunched up with everybody. So let's see how successful we are. There is these are big partition walls on this side of Cosmic Rays, just as an FYI. I think you can get in and out. It's not open just yet, but in terms of logistics, something to know. Okay, Mad Tea Party does not look too bad. All the families are racing. We want to get here before it gets too bad, but we are prioritizing Storybook Circus. This line is 7 Dwarfsing. That's expected. I think that ride is that 11 years old, opened in 2014. It still remains a popular draw. And it isn't even that thrilling of a ride, though I love it. You know what I mean? Just the popularity, it has remained. So it's sort of something to think about. This is a Disney video, but I was just at Epic Universe, and I'm wondering how long those lines for those popular rides will remain so popular. Like in 10 years, what are we gonna see? Curious. Hi, baby. We are heading into Storybook Circus, and thankfully for now, the lines are thinning out. Let's go see what we have going on. We got some little birdies. Didn't mean to scare them. Dumbo over here. All right, so thankfully, the Barnstormer is a walk-on. So me and my oldest are doing this first, as we always do. And maybe we'll ride it again, maybe we won't. But we actually have a lot to knock out for a pretty early lunch reservation at Skipper Canteen. So we're walking on Storybook Circus attractions. We have some lightning lanes for things over there at Adventureland. We have a lunch. We have BIBBIDI BOPPIDI Boutique. I don't know if I mentioned that to y'all earlier. And then that might just be it for us. So it's a jam-packed morning so we can win this park and get out of the heat. Let's see how we do this. It's testament to how when things are operating smoothly, how easily your day can go normally at Disney, and when it goes wrong, things can go wrong, so to speak. Yesterday, the park vehicle for Kilimanjaro Safaris broke down, and it delayed us quite. They had to tow the car, so it was a huge ordeal and slowed us down. Hopefully, it doesn't happen today in any capacity. The magic of movie making. We walked onto the Barnstormer and then straight onto Dumbo, and we get the same elephant that does not go up. It's teal with pink or peach at the edge, just so you guys know. We are not going up. What's going on here? Another really good thing about this area, Storybook Circus, that could be, I guess, a tip for parents. This is nothing groundbreaking, but just in case you didn't know, there are some bathrooms back here, and they are relatively large and cool, of course. Close to the train station, none of that's operating during early entry and the park just open, so it's fairly empty right now. And so for us at this point, after getting the kids up early and parking and racing over here, security, TTC, all the things, rode our first rides, rode a couple of rides. It's nice to take a break. Is anybody hungry? They might need to go to the bathroom. Anybody need just to wash their hands or anything? Refill your water. There's some water fountains over here. And so yeah, just to give you a look at the park. It is not super packed over here. A lot of seating areas. I know there are some like kid-friendly activities, but we're not gonna wait around for that because we have other things to do. But I just wanted to show you how we use Storybook Circus to our advantage in the early mornings because we have kids and this is sort of the phase we're in right now. All right, just a heads up, just to the right of the bathrooms are oh, thank you. My wife is applying sunscreen on me as I film this. This is how we multitask. Over here to the right of the bathrooms with some cool little details, and there's the train station. I have not found a water bottle refilling station that you can hold your container under, but yeah, just for some context and wayfinding, if you're looking for water, that's where you need to go. Right, we are crossing over into, I guess you can call it New Fantasyland, where we want to ride under the sea with Little Mermaid, and I just want to show there is some stroller parking here. And there's also, this is the exit to the ride though, that's where Ariel mates in her grotto. And over there is the main stroller parking, which is where we are headed. Just FYI. All right, we are heading in to ride the Little Mermaid. Some very nice theming on the exterior of this ride that I don't always slow down to appreciate. Look at that. This is always our third ride. We love it. My kids still love it. My wife enjoy it. Hopefully the kids still want to ride it for a long time. And we got routed through the lightning lane because there was some sort of mess, they said, in the standby queue. Just across from the Little Mermaid ride is this DVC stand. And there's just lots of cool little photos and art and things and a little game. They often have these in the DVC areas to distract your kids while you potentially buy a timeshare. I'm not an owner yet in case you're new here, but that'd be nice, but it's just not in the card test right now. Someone left their trash here. That's just not great. Anyway, just thought I would show little extra nooks and crannies to explore, and there's some shade there. Just to peek at Beast Castle. Wish we had like the full-size one like they have in Tokyo. I know that one's relatively new. But yeah, this is Be Our Guest. This is the Beauty and the Beast themed restaurant. We've done this a few times and it's enjoyable, especially if you get the main room that's with all the chandeliers that's, you know, reminiscent of the film. But there is a West Wing room and sort of a library room. To me, those ones aren't as exciting, and that place is huge. And so I feel like, as exciting as it was, they changed the menu. So it's a little different now in terms of your options, and that was several years ago now though. And then also, I feel like it felt a little bit like a cafeteria last time. I don't know why, it was just very loud, and the food, I'd typically go right. Oh no, you know what, let's go straight around the castle. The food was not amazing, and you know, something to consider. As always, we had our 3 kids with us, and so that of course colors it, right? Because what are they actually eating? What are they actually enjoying? But I'm talking about for my meal, I thought it was just okay, and you're paying a lot of money. So something to consider. Crowd check. It's still fairly early, so still not dreadful. Cinderella is meeting today. I've never stopped to take a picture with that sword, you guys, and I want to. Yeah, I wish some of these things weren't blocked off by PhotoPass, but I guess you could wait, and there's a stream of consciousness now. I guess you could wait and just take your photo, and they'd probably be really cool with it, but you still gotta wait. There's that. Here's the back side of the castle. Underappreciated side. Longtime followers will know that I showed up, my whole family showed up on the wrong day. I don't even know how we got into the park. Maybe we also bought park tickets, but we showed up to Magic Kingdom in our costumes on the wrong day. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. Nobody else was dressed up. Everybody was laughing. is this song about us or whatever the meme is, because we were walking up the steps and I thought the cast member really lingered on us when they were saying how nice we looked and how the effort we put into dressing up, and we're thinking to ourselves, effort, you know, isn't everybody doing it this time of year? And then we realized the theme park attire was a little too normal compared to what we were wearing. I just saw some umbrellas. My youngest is obsessed with umbrellas, so we might have to make a stop real quick. Anyway, that's where we had our epiphany, so when we walk to that spot, we always laugh. All right, so just outside Sleepy Hollow Refreshments here is this parasol stand, and you can get umbrellas without any art, or this cast member here is hand drawing this really cool art. Lots of cool Disney themes. There's an Elsa one way in the back. It's Aristocats ones, and they start at around $21 without any art, but with art, depending on how many it's per pictures, it can go up to $71, she said. So it's kind of a lot. And they used to have really tiny ones, like tiny parasols that like our young kids can actually hold easily, and they don't do that anymore. So they've gone up in price and they're bigger, which could be a good and or bad thing depending on what you need. But I just thought I would flag it because they're kind of unique here in the Magic Kingdom. I'm in Liberty Square, by the way, and we had to give one at least for my youngest, who is now dropping it out of the stroller. We are going to ride Jungle Cruise. Thankfully, we have a lightning lane. There is some additional stroller parking down here. It was kind of busy up there, so I wish I would have followed my gut and did that. Anyway, let's do it. All right, thank goodness for the lightning lane. Let's go. Never mind, we're actually the next one. Bye bye, man.
Now that's inspiration as I've ever heard it. We're now not only changing rivers, but we're to take the time to point that out because so many people hollers around. Aw, that crowd. Now lean to the right. Lean to the right.
All right, so we rode Jungle Cruise, and now we're at Aloha Isle Refreshments. Let's get some DOLE Whip. Let's check it out. We're here at Aloha Isle Refreshments, and I've actually never been here before because the line is always so bad. I go to Sunshine Tree Terrace, or I'll just go to Pineapple Lanai or something to get my DOLE Whip fixed if I'm in the area. But I will say, navigating those ropes, that line with a triple stroller, took a lot of wrist strength and some grit, but I did it. All right, so we have our DOLE Whip, and we are in this outdoor seating area. Thankfully, there are some fans just outside of the, I can't think of the name of it, but it is the spinning ride, sort of like Dumbo, but it's the flying carpets, the magic flying carpets for Aladdin. We are near Aloha Isle Refreshments. Not a lot of seating areas over there, but there are right here. We have a lunch reservation coming up. The kids really enjoyed Jungle Cruise. We had a really funny skipper, but it is definitely warm. But we're knocking out all of our things and on our way to food and BIBBIDI BOPPIDI Boutique soon. After our quick DOLE Whip break, but it's only actually 25 minutes, which is not bad for this time of day. All right, let's get in. It is these indoor show buildings and these long queues that are really welcome on these hot days, you know what I mean? We'll talk about this more in other videos probably, but being at Epic Universe the other day was illuminating for many reasons. Man, there is not much tree coverage there, understandably so, and you are just in that heat all day. All right, so we just rode Pirates, and now me and my oldest are dashing across the park back to Fantasyland, which ordinarily we wouldn't want to do, but we have a lightning lane for 7 Dwarfs, and it's her absolute favorite ride. So we're gonna do that and then dash back for lunch at Skipper Canteen. So we only have about 20 minutes to see how this goes. 20 minutes to get to our reservation. Let's see. All right, we made it to 7 Dwarfs, and we have about 2 minutes till our reservation. My wife is already checked in. There's a random bunch of people. Okay, so we managed to make it. That's the good news. Bad news, I lost my hat for the first time on a Disney ride. And I am normally told to take my hat off on other rides, I guess, like very obvious rides. That's never happened on 7 Dwarfs. But I lost it, and that's just not great. I just got that hat. So I'm gonna have my full review in a separate video, but we generally love Skipper Canteen. It's tucked away into Adventureland. Great theming, great food, especially that tastes like chicken because it is, and some ties to the Jungle Cruise attraction. All right, so I lost my hat, and now I'm wearing my hat that I got, my Pandora hat that I got at Animal Kingdom. I feel like I look a bit ridiculous, but it is really helping in the heat. So we're improvising. We just left Skipper Canteen. We were there for almost 2 hours, hour and a half, because they forgot to make our food. We were some of the first people in the store, the first people seated in the room that we sat in, and we let 50 minutes go by before we said anything, which sounds like a very millennial thing to do. I don't often complain about my food and stuff. I've worked in the food industry, and I'll speak up when I need to. It's not that I'm afraid to, but I understand that people, they're all just doing their jobs and everyone's working as hard as they can, and I don't want to add any undue stress or pressure on someone, and I don't come in with a...
I don't know where to go.
Oh.
Can I go this way?
Yeah, this is the perfect way. Sorry about that. We're heading to Bibbidi Boppidi Boutique. I don't go into this expecting everyone to like serve me and like have it, make it fast, make it snappy. But we do have our Bibbidi Boppidi Boutique reservation, which we are now late for. Everything's fine, but it took so long that it, for lack of a better word, ate into our time. And so we were very streamlined this morning. We knocked out like 5 or 6 rides, had our reservation, but because of this delay, we're a little bit late. But when I spoke to a manager, actually a manager overheard me speaking to another employee, and I just said, hey, you know, if we could just check on our food because we have to be somewhere in 20 minutes and we're not gonna make it, especially with 3 young ones. It takes a long time to do anything. And our food came out probably in less than 2 minutes. After that, a manager overheard, and we got everything really quickly after that, and they were able to call Bibbidi Boppidi Boutique ahead of time and say, we're gonna be a little bit late. Please be expecting us at a little bit of a different time. So far, everything's fine. This is our first time doing this, so I'll keep you updated. This is our first time trying Bibbidi Boppidi Boutique, if you can believe it. We've got 2 of our kids doing it because our 3rd is now old enough. They are very excited. They've actually been talking about it for weeks at this point. So let's see if this is worth the dough. So if you're traveling with the littlest ones, you gotta know you cannot take your stroller inside. May sound like common sense. I'm just letting people know who haven't been here before. There's stroller parking just outside the entrance to Bibbidi Boppidi Boutique. As you can tell, a lot of people with strollers are inside, so make sure you park that before you go inside the entrance. Bibbidi Boppidi Boutique is a Disney princess themed makeover experience located at the Magic Kingdom just behind Cinderella Castle. Generally, you have to book a time slot in advance, but sometimes there may be walk-up availability. There are different tiers of prices for the packages, different princesses, and different dresses and accessories for you to choose from. In some ways, it was not at all what I was expecting, but I'm going to give you my full thoughts and details about what to do and your guide to the experience in a separate video. But I just want to show you and give you sort of a heads up of what to expect from this experience. We just got done with Bibbidi Boppidi Boutique. I have a lot of thoughts about it. It is very pricey. We of course did not do the super highly priced option, but the girls had a really good time. It is a significant amount of time. It's a good chunk of time. It's sort of in the middle of the day, but I will say because it was so hot outside, it was nice to be in there, but it was very busy. I've never really looked into the option before because I never figured that we would want to do it, but then my wife wanted to, so of course, you know, we're doing it. But it was pricey, but there are a lot of different people doing things, so you think about how much it would cost for each person to be doing each one of those things, and you know, of course that would add up. But then again, what I also want to discuss was whether, you know, is it worth it? To be seen with my full thoughts on all of that, but I will say they made the experience very nice for the kids, and my wife really enjoyed it. Just top notes is that it was very busy in there, very loud, very frenetic. Yeah. What is it? You want to get?
Let too many people in. It should be a little more capped.
Okay, attendance. Yeah, I'd say, you know,
the dresses are beautiful. The hair is beautiful.
I would say it looks a little dated. I don't know. I know it's a fairy tale hall, right? I don't know why I was expecting it to be a little more luxe.
Old fairy
yeah, very old fairy tale-y look to it, and I don't know why I didn't expect that. Again, I didn't watch any videos. I've never researched it as a Disney person. It's just not something I've ever really looked up, and so I went and kind of, you know, without knowing what was going on. And again, the kids enjoyed it. Is it worth it? That's up to you. I'll talk about that probably in a separate video. But I just want to say that it was chaotic. There's people darting around in every location, and you're super crammed with a bunch of kids and all of their parents and grandparents and other family members probably. So that's just something I didn't expect, how it would feel so clustery, and how, you know, they're definitely still attentive to you, and it's definitely still, you definitely feel like you're getting a nice experience.
Also
but
shuffled kind of back and forth a lot.
Yes.
Like, go sit here, then wait more.
Yes, it is.
You know?
Yeah, go over here and someone's going to call your name. Go over here, someone's going to call your name again. Now you have to go get changed.
You're going to walk across the heat to the next part.
Then you walk across and go underneath the castle. Actually, again, I didn't know that. And they get their hair done in a separate location from the location that has the sign. So something to consider. But otherwise, we're heading into Tomorrowland because I have a lightning lane for Tron, and we might do the People Mover, we might not, but this is It's the middle of the day.
Definitely try.
It is hot, so we're gonna probably get out of here pretty soon. But at least one more ride, do some shopping. So let's see how this goes. I have never seen Mr. Incredible out. How cool is that? Over here in Tomorrowland. So I just rode Tron for the first time. There it goes. And yeah, that was a good ride. I know that there are a lot of qualms about how long it is or isn't, and how, you know, maybe it's not the most intense. I would say it's intense enough, and it's still enjoyable. You know, I don't know if you've seen my earlier video when I went to Epic Universe. I enjoyed Stardust Racer. That thing throws you around, and this one does not. And so, you know, I thought it was fun. I look crazy in this hat. I do want to give a quick shout out to the people at the water fountains or refilling stations who fill up their drink and then stay in the same spot and proceed to take the biggest gulp of their life and then refill it even more before getting out of the way. I'm glad that you're hydrated. You know, I realized I might look ridiculous in this hat. My wife encouraged me to get it yesterday at Animal Kingdom, and I like it. I've been looking for one for when we travel outside the parks, like to the beach and whatnot, but this thing's doing its job. Like, I do not feel the sun as much, and thus it is more enjoyable to be here in the middle of the day. Just some sartorial thoughts. If you ever want to skip a lot of the crowds around the hub area getting out of Tomorrowland, what you could do is just sneak through Tomorrowland Terrace. It's by the famous purple wall. There's hardly anyone ever over here. And though the seating is blocked off, you know, it's covered, and you know, you can feel some cool air, and you could pop out right on the other side of Main Street by the plaza. So, you know, just a quick tip. These are clip-on sunnies, so I have to take them off every time I go inside. But I'm grabbing a quick coffee before I meet my wife and the kids at the Emporium because I want one. I had to do what I had to do, and that is iced coffee. Toward the end of the day, actually, I feel like I drink less caffeine because we go in the mornings on the trips, and I like to nurse my coffee and really enjoy it. So I kind of run on just a few sips in the morning, and then the middle of the day, I really just need the injection. So Main Street Bakery for that, and now I'm in the Emporium, see what we can get, find my family. We made it outside the Emporium just in time to see the parade. Let's check it out. So we caught the parade. That was awesome. And my youngest now is more active and able to really appreciate it. So the experiences are just sort of changing, I think, for the better. But what I want to say is someone actually recognized me from my YouTube channel, which has not happened many times. Another one was on this trip at actually Epic Universe. I don't know if I mentioned that, but someone recognized me, and so because of my video, they booked a stay at Saratoga Springs Resort. So that is really cool. That rarely happens. I have a very small channel right now. But yeah, bye, thank you. Just crazy, something I wouldn't expect. And yeah, we are heading to the monorail because it is hot, and we're about to head to the monorail. We actually had to scan back in because my wife wanted some pictures with the girls in their Bibbidi Boppidi boutique gowns. And so we went back in, got the photo, and yeah, that was a successful Magic Kingdom day. Somehow got here before early entry. Had enough time to take some photos that we normally don't prioritize. Knocked out all our favorites in Storybook Circus. Then went to Adventureland and rode a bunch of other things that we wanted. Got some Dole Whip. Then we rushed back to Fantasyland for 7 Dwarfs. Got back in time for Skipper Canteen. I don't know if I mentioned it, our Skipper Canteen reservation ran really late, but it all ends up working out. We went to Bibbidi Boppidi, which was time consuming and a little hectic. And then I rode Tron, got some coffee, watched the parade, shopped at the Emporium, watched the parade, and then met someone who watches my channel, which is pretty cool. So now we're riding the monorail, my favorite mode of transportation. I wasn't listening. And time to head home for the day. All right, that's a wrap on our Magic Kingdom day. I would call that a success. I would say since the birth of our third, Magic Kingdom has proved kind of challenging. We haven't stayed on the monorail resorts a ton since she was born. We did at Island Tower recently, and I do have a video about that if you're interested. But I feel like it's just a lot of work to get in there if you're staying outside the monorail loop, and it's just sort of a production, we call it, of getting together, parking, TTC, into the Magic Kingdom, it's just a lot of work. And I think that today, you know, we got up early enough, thanks to our third, and we just made it happen and had a positive attitude, and things went smoothly. And yeah, we just had a great time. Thank you so much for watching and following along. If you like this video, consider subscribing, and I'll see you real soon.